Hi, good evening, ma'am. Yes, I now want to do.
Yeah, so Amresh, what time are we starting?
Yes, ma'am, we can start.
Okay. Okay, hello all of you. Today, a wonderful evening from India. We have with us hello all of you. Good evening from India. We have Miss Pradnya Punekar from UK joining us. One of the biggest women power we have ever encountered on our shows. What a woman of determination, of focus, of persistence, of perseverance, courage, and what a role model to follow for most of the women around here who are looking at becoming their own bosses. Let us welcome Miss Pradnya Punekar from UK today. Welcome, Pradnya. We welcome you to the Women Power Global Moment when we are focusing we already have 1 lakh women on this platform by 2021 and 1 million by 2024. Our mission and this session, as we are on today, is to add on more women power like you. We are live on the Facebook, on the YouTube, on the Global Talent Television, and on Zoom, of course. I'm joined by Anandita here, who is a women power from the Hyderabad chapter. Welcome, Anandita.
Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. Good morning, and hello to everyone in UK and India both.
Okay, fantastic. And I have introduced both my super duper ladies, and I'm going to introduce myself now. Hi, this is Manisha Sharma, the host of the program today. I am the Women Power Delhi chapter, volunteering on behalf of all women for Women Power program that is very, very close to the heart of DK. So, Pradnya, we can start with our question answer sessions. I'm going to fire, my dear, and I'm
first
sure
of all,
you.
Yes. Yes. So first of all, Manisha, definitely we can start off with the question and answers. But first of all, before we begin that, I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to DK, to you and Anandita for having me on the show today. It is such an honor, Manisha, truly to be amongst with the amazing women power like you and Anandita as well, and DK especially, who is driving this such an amazing initiative of having 1 million by 2024. And it's such a beautiful and amazing dream. So congratulations to all of you. And thank you so much once again for having me today.
You're most welcome. It's our honor. We are all humbled and grateful. And it's always good to learn as we move forward in this journey together.
True.
So Pradnya, my firing of questions now start, right? And I'm sure you are not in the firing zone at all. You have already been such a famous speaker on various platforms. So I'm very keen to know about your childhood, because I always feel childhood has such a strong impact on our lives. Where were you born? What about your parents and your respected parents? If you can share something about them. I'm keen to know more about your childhood, your growing up years. How was it being a girl child? And did you have those little dreams as a girl child? If you can just take us through that life journey, please.
Sure, definitely. And that's such a wonderful and a nostalgic question to begin with, Manisha, because a lot of times when, especially when you go on to talk on us, because you are also a speaker, you know that we talk so much about professional lives, the technical stuff and everything, but childhood is something so precious to all of us. So thank you so much to begin the show with that beautiful question. So I come from a small town or a B town in India, which is called Belgaum, which is very closer to Pune and Mumbai. It's on the border of Karnataka and Maharashtra. And that city was always, it still is into controversy whether it belongs to Maharashtra or Karnataka. So that apart. So,
Okay.
so I come from that town. And
So we have a star from the controversy today.
yes, absolutely. To make
Okay.
it all the more controversial, isn't it?
Yes, yes,
But
yes.
yes, so I come from that city, Manisha, and obviously born and brought up in the 80s of India. You can imagine, and everybody who's watching here today can relate to the childhood that I have had was pretty similar to any child who was born in the 80s in India. Really talks about Doordarshans, the TV was very, very first
Yes.
thing for all of us. Talks
Yeah.
about the Mahabharata that we all together watched as a family on Sunday morning, and the kind of values and cultures we inculcated as a child.
Absolutely.
That reminds me also that it also makes me nostalgic that Sundays was the only day when we used to have idlis and dosas, because they were they were kind of a luxury food for us. So I was born during that era, Manisha, and that was my kind of very similar to what others would have had. Going to school in the mornings, coming back in the evenings, just drop our bags and go on the roads and play with our friends on the streets. Some days early, some days coming back home late. Parents used to not be aware where we were for the next 2-3 hours. But yes, that was the kind of childhood I have had. My parents, having said that, both my mother and father. So I have had a beautiful amalgamation and a very rare combination, I would say, Manisha, of a modern yet a very strong cultural and Indian value based combination. And when I say that, my father's family comes from, a bit of my grandfather, my great grandfather were also part of British, British whatever sarkar and stuff back then. So you can imagine there was a lot of English that was going up in the house. My grandfather and my father had conversations in English. I grew up listening to that, which was not very common during our generation. And that was my father's side of it. So a bit of a modern, very strong academic and education focus. My mother's side, it had a lot of emphasis on cultural value system and those kind of things. So my amalgamation of bringing up was a combination of both my father and my mother, which is why I was kind of given that freedom, but we had a set frame of freedom, right? And I never remember breaking that frame which was given to me, both by my mother and my father. So that was the kind of upbringing I've had. Specifically, I want to mention my great grandfather over here, who was a freedom fighter, and he's worked alongside Mahatma Gandhi ji back during India's independence in 1947. I was blessed to be growing up in his guidance, and he was one of those important and key person who's played a very important role in my upbringing. As we were growing up, he had a lot of initiatives and NGOs that he had started for women and young girls' education. So that was a kind of environment I really grew up in. He used to read English newspapers, which again was not very common. So that was that. I think those were some of the bits and pieces that I used to wake up to Venkatesh Suprabhata every morning. But very quickly, we used to move up to, my dad saying, so what do you want to become when you grow up, right? My dad was the one who really, my dad and my great grandfather, both of them were extremely pushy, or rather, who influenced me in terms of being a ambitious girl right since a very young age. There was one incident which I want to share. Right since a very young age, I was very ambitious. And when I say that, there was one incident which my mother tells me even today. Supposedly, when I was about 6 or 7 years old, I was very
Okay.
fascinated with the chickens that, do you remember the small chickens that used to run on the roads when we were growing up? Golden yellow chickens.
Yes.
And supposedly she says that I was very fascinated with those. It was my dream, which I kept telling her that I want to have one of those in my home. And she said, we cannot have it. So it seems one fine day I woke up and I saw the chicken running on the road. And I think my mom says this. I was wearing a white frock, a little white frock. I was about 6 or 7 years old. And I literally chased the chicken from the whatever, the pipelines, the gutters of India, everywhere. And after 2 or 3 hours, my mom and dad realized after an hour, I was not in the house. So they filed a police complaint and saying that our daughter is lost. And I was actually chasing the chicken. So, when you chase the chicken, it runs away, right? So I just
yeah.
ran after it.
Yes.
There was one man who used to sell goggles in front of our house. He found me about some 10 kilometers away from our home. And then he actually, he said, what is this girl doing here? So he made me sit on his cart, is what my mom says. And then he got me back home after about 6 hours. And my mom and dad were all around the place looking for me. So that was the kind of ambition I've always had because of my, upbringing, which continues to be with me even today.
Oh, fantastic, fantastic. It gives so much importance on the fact that the first guru is Ma, the second guru is father, and the third guru is guru. I think the values that are built in us right from our childhood are very, very important. What will you be giving? What message will you give to girl children, especially Pradnya, who are not, who don't have those kind of family systems?
True.
Because I understand that, I see that focus in you even today, right? Even today, following the chicken, my dear, following the chicken for 10 kilometers, my God, what focus you had as a kid, right? And though that'll be just an instance in your life and your parents were worried and all, but that focus is still in you. I think that has brought you where you are today. And your grandfather's teachings on enabling women is what you have taken in your DNA, right? So what message will you give to those girl children who kind of get defeated on small little instances in life? What would your message be?
I think the message that I would have is one, extremely believe, yes, as a society, especially in India, even today, we have so many barriers, right? We have so many glass ceilings, which the women or the young girls have been put into, which continues to remain even today. So the matter of fact is that you really cannot go, the matter of fact is that change that we really want to see, whether it is you, me, DK, Anandita, we are all seeing, it really begins with us. The moment we take the first step is when you will actually see the ripple effect starting around you. So I would highly suggest and recommend, going back to that same chicken story which I spoke about, is that one, be extremely confident and sure of your own abilities and skills that you have as a young child. Even if that means that sometimes you have to have a bit of a convince to your parents, or convince the surroundings around you, and maybe try and possibly make them realize and understand what the result of that would be, right? A lot of times in the process, what happens is people do not, there are a lot of barriers that they see, but the bigger picture is what has been missed in the entire spectrum of things. So it is for a young, I know it sounds probably, not everybody is able to do it, but the first step is to just have trust in yourself, The second step is to say that the bigger picture that you really want to do and make change about does not happen overnight. You just have to take one step, just be a little confident and courageous, just one step today. That's it. You have done one step tomorrow. That's it. So take small baby steps is what I would say, right? To
Fantastic, Pradnya. And now I'm passing on the torch to the beautiful friend of mine on this show, Miss Anandita. She's going to have her set of questions with you, Pradnya.
Thank you, Manisha.
Thank you so much, Manisha, and loved hearing your story, Pradnya. I would, if I go on a metaphorical way of representation or symbolical, I would say driving those chickens were driving your dreams. And what comes out very beautifully is, and also as Manisha says, what would be the message you want to give? I think it is about tenacity of purpose, perseverance, and passion. So, which, yes, I agree that not everyone has it, but yes, certain things which are not ingrained can be imbibed also.
Yes.
Loved hearing your upbringing also with so much values. And I think, whether you call it spiritualism or religious, inspiration, I think that was also inculcated in you, which is so beautiful. And definitely these are the things which build up a personality, build up a character. And today you are there. You are a woman of excellence, woman of substance, and very proud about it being a woman to see you in this position. Many people are, as they say, they are born leaders, or many people need to really carve out their way. A lot of hurdles and challenges come on the path, and some people can sail through. Some people need to put more effort. What were did you face any challenges or hurdles? Not necessarily everyone, has to, but how about your life? What about your professional journey? Did you really face challenges and hurdles being a woman? And also maybe in UK, of course, we can discuss that later because it's not in our country. What about your professional journey, if you can share?
Sure. Thank you so much, Anandita. And it's wonderful to see you and get connected, like I mentioned to Manisha, woman power, like both of you who are doing such amazing work and are a part of this wonderful initiative that you both are doing. So thank you so much. I think I will begin with a bit of my professional journey, Anandita, and then move on to the challenges part of it. So my professional journey, as Manisha said in the introduction, and a few people might know over here, is that I'm an HR professional. So I've worked in the corporate world for the last 12 to 13 years across various global organizations in India and in UK both. My journey as a career started off with HCL Technologies, very similar to most of what we would have done. I did my master's degree in HR and then joined HCL Technologies in Bangalore as an executive. But also what was very, very courageous and probably inspiring to me is that very quickly at a very, very early on stage of my career, I got opportunity, or rather moved on, let's say at the age of 25 or 26, got an opportunity to work with a startup and founders. So when I say that, especially to work with leaders and founders at the age of 25 or 26 is something very inspiring for me. So that kind of gave me a very strong foundation of getting a very bigger business perspective right since at a very early age of my career. So I worked on various areas of HR like recruitment, there's HR operations, there's HR strategic part of it, which is performance appraisals, rewards and recognitions, and various other aspects of employee engagement, there's payroll. So these are some of the most areas which I worked early on from HCL Technologies. I was working in Bangalore, then moved on to Sigma Info Solutions. That's where I got an opportunity very early on to work with founders and leaders. And I think that is one, probably the first step, which was a changing point for me, of working with the leaders and founders of organizations and business from a business perspective, because that really shaped up my personality in terms of getting bigger, bigger business perspective and views. Moving on from there, I then got a wonderful opportunity to work with Flipkart. Flipkart back then was a startup, very, very early age startup. I think it was about just 6 months old. And I got a wonderful opportunity to work with Sachin and Binny, who were the founders of Flipkart. So I think that journey or that experience when I was working with Flipkart again was a change making, because in Flipkart I got an opportunity to work with all the C-level at a C-level leaders. So when I say that, across various functions, at a very early on of my career, I got an opportunity to work. So that's where I gained a lot of knowledge of how the business strategic plans are made, how the bigger plans are made, how probably the industry trends change, what kind of people policies, procedures, and the new trends that we can bring into the organization. So these were some of the things that I got exposure. That's one part of it. Second, of obviously working with such amazing leaders, it really makes you a different person in terms of thinking big, dreaming big, right? Risk-taking ability, the courage that you would have had to really put forward your ideas and your what do you think the different aspects of business should be. So these were some of the things that I gained in terms of the other side of working in startups, and especially working with founders and big leaders. I was very, very fortunate enough. Again, I would say that I always had, like I say, ambition in terms of so going back to a small piece where I've always seen my dad working extremely hard. He worked with the manufacturing unit, and he was working. He started off into HR, into law, and then eventually leading the HR department. So that's how his career journey was. But I had, as a girl, I had seen that. So for me, what my dad really, really thought in terms of career is that one is hard work. He said there is no substitute to hard work, no matter what you do. So that is something which I really learned from my dad at a very, very early stage of my life. Second, I think also there is one aspect that I would specifically want in terms of my changing point after the startup experiences which I had with the founders and the big leaders was that one of the things that, there's a saying that women cannot work in construction companies. There's a lot of stereotype, right? Women cannot work in certain areas. So I think I will come to the challenges part of moving to UK and talk about that piece of work. So this was my entire career journey in terms of how I started off my HR career and the opportunities that I got. And the way I really, really pursued or grew through that career is, like I said, through a lot of hard work, through a lot of conviction that I had love for working with people and people's development. I really put that to the core, that I really love developing people to their potential. So that was the core to me. Third, I really learned from the leaders of how they made decisions, what kind of risk taking they had, what kind of policies and procedures they made. I continuously learned those aspects. So that's how I grew through my career. Talking about challenges, obviously, the major challenge that I faced was when I moved to UK. And I say that because when I moved to UK, the UK HR job market was very different, very different. The kind of qualifications so to be very honest, over here, even an MBA or a PhD in HR is not considered really great. Let me put it that. In UK, they have something called CIPD, where only if you have a CIPD, you're a qualified HR. If not, even if you have any other qualification, it's worthless. So imagine that kind of a setup I came into. It was, and that's when I had also embarked into motherhood. We all know that motherhood is a completely transforming phase for every woman that we face. It was extremely challenging for me. I think one thing that I really, really had to really tune in was my mindset. I came from a completely different mindset, completely different cultural background. and very different kind of a professional setup. So when I moved here, I really tried and understood what kind of a job market is there, right? From writing emails, answering the phone calls, approaching people. I was never used to networking at all in my career, because for me, it was always about the kind of job opportunities I got was most times it was because, I grew through it because of my hard work and my talents and skills that I had developed in HR. So it kind of came naturally to me, but it was very different over here. So I had to really revamp the HR laws, regulations, learn all about it. And that was a very, very challenging piece for me in terms of changing the mindset. Culturally understanding how different it is in UK, in the entire system. And I networked with people. So the challenges that I faced was, one, obviously coming from a new country, right? I'm an Asian woman. Let's put it straight and simple, right? It's going to be a people-facing role in the organization, right? Our organization is going to have an Asian woman facing, the other ethnicity people. Are they going to do that? So that was the biggest challenge I faced, because organizations, like we say, really want their own people. So the way I really broke those stereotypes is try and understand what the culture is, understand their language, understand the policies and procedures. So there was a huge learning curve that I went through. Then the second step was I started networking with people in UK. And when I say that, not just Indians, it was also people of other cultures and, from who came from different backgrounds. So I started doing that. That was very difficult for me because we as Indians are not used to it. So that was the second piece. And then third, obviously, as I started breaking through those barriers, I started opening up to, opportunities started opening up. And then I worked in a construction company, which was a barrier breaking for thing.
Wonderful, wonderful. I think, this diversity and inclusion is one of the very important aspect which we all are trying to face, or I should say deal with, or I mean, in our own different way we can term it. But yes, what we come to know from you is we have to gel and respect each other. It is not only, we cannot just go on a morcha and on a protest saying something, but we also have to, be adaptable, adopt the culture and the other side of the table, across the table. If we show respect, we can command respect for sure. And what you said and what your dad also said is absolutely correct. In fact, it resonates with my life also. There's no substitute to hard work and continuous learning. It's so well, Pradnya, resonates with my life. And I, wherever, in whichever platform I go, and people who ask, I say that success is not 2 minutes Maggie. You have to do your hard work. You have to gain hands-on experience. Never say no to any work, that this is not my work. The more you do, whatever you do, you learn something. Some key takeaway is there from it. And this is, and continuous learning. Yes. And because see, continuous learning is something which gives you awareness. And the more aware individual you are more an empowered woman, an empowered individual, irrespective of, since we are talking about inclusion and diversity, irrespective of sex and gender, we should be. So thank you so much. Lovely hearing. And with this, we want to hear more from you. And I pass on the baton to Manisha for her set of questions. She's also curious and eager to learn more.
Yeah, thank you so much, Anandita. And what a journey, Pradnya. From being a founder of Katha, I think from HR to a career coach, a speaker, a senior HR, Mrs. India UK, right? What is it that you have not done, my lady? And how many hats are you wearing? So,
I still need to do a lot, Manisha.
Yeah. Yeah, I know it's a long way to go. It's a long way to go for all of us. I believe we're all always charged up, super women, and you are one of them. who's been
The
leading us.
hunger in the belly, the hunger in
Oh,
the belly.
yes.
In
Oh,
I,
yes.
I
the
think in
belly.
all of us. So basically
yes,
we need
yes,
that, and
yes,
also we
yes.
need DK Bakshi.
Yes.
I think it's not the hunger, it's the fire in the belly.
The fire in the belly. The fire in the belly. Totally.
Yes, yes, that's propelling us. Okay, so with that, Pradnya, I was just curious, what were those moments of light in your life journey which propelled you to be who you are today? No, there are those triggering moments. And can you tell us how easy, difficult was it for you to break those glass ceilings, and it's so much of questions that I have here. With the kind of impacting personality you have been, a person of excellence, and professionally, personally, you have been such a fantastic person as balancing the personal life and the professional side of the life both so well. Your leadership style also has been that of a giver, and not a taker. Um, what are your key leadership traits also is something that I would want to know, wherein you are empowering other women leaders as a storyteller, and you want to give away that piece to this planet. So the first one is, what is those moments of light? What are those glass ceilings? How difficult, easy was it for you to break? And what are your key leadership traits, that have empowered you to become that giver for other women?
Sure. Thanks, Manisha. It's indeed a very, very deep question, and possibly
Oh,
might
yes. Yes.
might take but I will try and keep it short and
Yeah.
break it into bits and pieces. So I will speak about the lights which have inspired me to break those glass ceiling, and then I will talk about the leadership then later on. So keeping it into two parts of it. So first, the moments which have actually inspired me, I would want to really mention two people over here which have had a huge impact, who have inspired me to do that, uh, be that light in my life. uh, the f- the first one is my grandmother, who I would want to mention. She's 85 today. My grandmother, when I say grandmother, it is my mom's mom. She's 85 today. She was a social worker. She's been a social worker for a very long time, for about 50 years. And um, so when I say that, the moment really that inspired me is when I was growing up. We all know that we had these moments when we used to travel to us during our summer vacations to our grandparents' house, right? That was like a standard given thing, and it was pretty similar for me as well. So when I was growing up, my grandmother, who is of course a cancer survivor herself, breast cancer survivor, and which she had at whatever at the age of 70 or 75. When I was growing up during the summer vacations, the scenes that I saw in the house was that she, along with a lot of women from the local communities around our place or whatever where her home was, they used to have these small local businesses where she had a huge kitchen. She was blessed with a big house and all of that. She used to gather all of them together, and they used to all whatever make local products, local things, and she used to help them sell and become financially independent. So that was the kind of summer vacations I really had. While I used to play out, I never realized those moments would actually leave such a lasting impression on me. I used to, we used to run around 20, 25 cousins, but those scenes were running in the background. Those scenes were really, along with my grandfather. She used to, and there was second scene along, she used to sit with my grandfather and talk of whatever the financials we never understood what they were, but she used to talk about those and make decisions, right? So there are two things. One was really helping the women to become financially independent, which my grandmother did. Uh, Scenes which never I thought would inspire me. Second, the decision making. Like we say, right? Women have to be at places where decisions are made for them to feel more empowered. That's where the real change is going to happen. So these were some of the scenes that I have seen growing up. never realizing it would have a lasting impression on me. So those were some of the moments which inspired me to go on and say that this is what I want to do. I want to I want to have my own career, become financially independent, no matter what my husband earns, what he does, who he is. I want to become financially independent. And for that, I have to work really hard. I have to develop those skills. I have to be confident enough. I have to be courageous to be able to talk about my idea over there. I would see those women talk about those and interact. So that's one piece of it. Second, like I said, my great grandfather, who was a freedom fighter himself, he had a lot of NGOs and schools which he had started for young girls and women, which from his own earnings and money, that savings that he had done. And he never charged a penny for it. There were a lot of young girls and women whose education he supported. Their families would come to us, they would stay with us for a few days. So that's the kind of childhood I have actually had when my great-grandfather actually did. I still remember he used to tell my mother, she had finished her whatever graduation, which is quite big for, mom of that generation. He wanted her to pursue her master's and then, become a teacher or a professor in a college. And for a very long time, he kept pushing her, saying, why don't you do that? So that was a kind of atmosphere that I grew up into, which kind of inspired me to say that, one, there is nothing that a woman really, if she wishes to do, that she cannot do. So obviously, now how difficult was it to break that glass ceiling, especially growing up as a girl child? Obviously, I did have the support from my family. But as a society, to be very honest, Manisha, there were still a lot of stereotypes which were there, right?
Absolutely.
There was still a lot of I remember it was equally difficult. And when I was growing up, stereotypes about what a girl should wear. Simple. Let's put it simple, right?
Yeah.
Right? What she shouldn't wear, when she should get married, when she shouldn't be getting married, whether she should have, whether she should be a mother or not a mother. These were all the things which I have always grown up and which were always there at the same time. Yes. So I think there was one moment which I still remember, my great grandfather, and I will possibly then move on to the leadership aspect, is that when I moved on to my, my college of 12th grade and then my graduation, my dad had got me a two-wheeler, right? Quite okay during our days, right? And as you know, growing up in India as women, we are supposed or told to wear salwar kameez, right? And my great grandfather came over one day morning, just as when we had the two-wheeler. There was after a week he came and he told me that, you know what, you should not wear salwar kameez and drive the two-wheeler, because your dupatta is going to get stuck in the two-wheeler. You should shift to wearing pants and tops and jeans, right? So, and then, there was one day I went besides him and I told him that, what will people say and because there's all this thing that what should girls wear, what they shouldn't wear. Right? Yes, let's talk about it. It's simple, like breaking that glass ceiling of what you wear, right? He said, remember one thing, Pradnya, he said, there is always be people who will always talk about what you should do and what you should not do, right? It is really up to you to decide what is good for you in that situation. And if that is going to lead you towards growth and a bigger dream, then you should do it. Even if that means you're alone, you have to do it.
Wow. I think we are here because of the men in our life. Yes. And one of the biggest men, though that's the biggest women power that we have on the show with us, is D.K. Bakshi. Yes. His life journey, I really have goosebumps, whenever I think about it. From being a child who's seen all that in Kashmir, what was happening in the past as a child, to listening it from his mother and highly emotionally connected with his mother. I think, yes, parents have such a deep impact on us. And he started this movement called Women Power, when we already have 1 lakh plus women on the platform, Pradnya. And I think the dream that he has of having 1 million by 2024, which most say is not possible, is crazy, mad. I very, very strongly believe is going to come forth. And I feel so blessed that, you spoke about Doordarshan, right? In the beginning, when we were talking about, I had those nostalgic feelings also, because I remember as a child, we used to sit down and watch Ramayana and Mahabharata every Sundays especially, on Doordarshan as family. We are in an era now wherein we are sitting as women on a platform which is empowering other women. So I think that's a big shift that we have seen. Yes. So there's no question about why this global movement should not be reaching the numbers that we're talking about. So with that, I'm going to pass on the journey on this chapter that we have today. It's such a wonderful, wonderful day. I'm feeling so elated and excited hearing your life story, Pradnya. I'm passing on the torch again to my beautiful lady here, the co-host, Anandita, please.
So just before that, Manisha, I'll just quickly touch upon, you asked about the leadership style, which I couldn't cover. Yes. So I feel, just in a quick short snippet, I know we are running short of time. I'm aware of that. But so my leadership style, I strongly believe that leadership is not really about positions, big titles, the flow charts, the hierarchy. Yes, it is there in all the organizations. But I strongly believe that leadership is about uplifting others and making them realize what their true potential is. Because Absolutely. I strongly believe we cannot achieve big change, big dreams alone. It is a togetherness. So that's the kind of mission or the leadership style I have, where uplifting others, trying to, making them realize what their potential is, and really making them walk their dream, so that we can take a bigger change.
Absolutely, Pradnya. And I feel so much connected with this thought. This is such a deep thought. It is. Giving back is when you are telling the universe that I am giving back, and therefore the universe is giving it back to you, right? So I think in enabling others and uplifting others is the true leadership. Very, very well said. So with that, Anandita, back to you.
Thank you, Manisha. Yes, Manisha, you rightly said that this movement will happen with the energy and the enthusiasm and the drive which DK Bakshi has, definitely. And I, you, Pradnya, me, and all the ladies here, and everyone, in fact, the entire audience, I would say we are really lucky to be part of this movement for sure. And I'm sure that he will be leading. And when we are talking about leadership, unless we create or make another leader, we can never call ourselves a leader. For sure, Absolutely. For sure. Yes. Now, coming back to women empowerment or capacity, capability, Pradnya, now, what is that message would you like to give of today's women who maybe whether it's entrepreneur or a corporate or a teacher, whatever profession they are in, or service sector, whatever sector they are in, how do you think they should balance their life professionally and personally? How do they handle this work-life balance? Because we are always given a tag as superhero, superwoman, and if we can handle and manage both the ends successfully, whatever the term means, quote unquote, because it's this term can be, it's very perspective, it cannot be defined in one sentence, success. Having said that, we are at times, we women, we feel very proud to say that yes, I am handling everything, both the ends, very successfully. Some feel guilty because they are giving less time at home. Some are feeling not guilty, and I'm definitely in that group where I don't feel guilty if I cannot cook one day or I come back late one day. How, in your concept, because you've seen the profession, you're from HR, how do you think women should maintain their work-life balance? Because we are supposed to do all the core successfully, professionally adversarial. How do you think? Because you are an HR leader who makes employees to be engaged employees, productive employees. What is your take?
Yeah, so thank you, Anandita. It's in fact a wonderful question. And again, yet another topic which we all can go for hours and hours. Work-life balance has been one of the most key and critical aspects, especially for a woman, because like Anandita rightly mentioned, there are guilt factors, especially for women, there are whatever, So how do we actually balance, right? Now let's put it very, very simple, straight and clear that we cannot do it alone. It's pretty, I think in my experience and what I have seen with other women leaders, what I have seen is that when we say work-life balance, is that first try and understand what exactly is that work-life balance for you, right? Because for every person, every individual, that meaning of balance or work-life balance is very different. We can actually really go into deep detail, but try and understand what that work-life balance really means for you, right? Second, I think, how do you actually attain that work-life balance? The first and the foremost thing is trying to understand what is that you really want in terms of your career and at work. There has to be a big amount of clarity which you need to bring about, so that even if tomorrow there are certain aspects, let's say work-life balance, there are 12 balls in the air, right? Now, from which in that entire journey of work-life balance, few balls just fall down because it's impossible for you to manage the entire thing alone, right? You should not be guilty. Now, that clarity is important to be able to give your energy and time to each of your work at work and home equally. Now, so bringing that clarity is very important, so that even if certain things fall out, you don't feel guilty about it, like Anandita was mentioning. The second, how do you actually do it, is support. I think support is one of the most important critical things. And I think, like Manisha was rightly mentioning, we are into a different era altogether, right? There's a huge shift which has happened. The kind of corporate worlds that I see today are so much more supportive, are so much more inclusive, are so much more, we have a lot of community system apart from the organizations. So really, we women ourselves, we really hesitate to ask for help.
Yes.
Let us shift our mindset, create that shift in mindset. The first, get a clarity of what is that work-life balance means to you. What is that aspect at work and home you really want to contribute and be able to, achieve, so that rest of the things, even if certain things move up and down, you don't feel guilty about it, right? Second, support. Let's be very clear and not feel ashamed of asking for help. We need it for our dreams, for us, for our families, for our communities, for the organizations that we are. So let us go out and really seek support and help, whichever is available, whether it means from your partner, from your parents or in-laws, or the larger communities that you're a part of, or the organizations that you're a part of. Let's go and ask for help over there, right? The third aspect which is there, when I look at, so that's where you would be able to strike some amount of balance. The third aspect which is there is about really doing a lot of work within you, right? I think that's very important, especially for a woman, because like Anandita was rightly mentioning, we wear so many hats, right? And along with that, creating that kind of awareness where you are able to align your mind, body, and soul is very important to bring that balance. That balance is not about ticking 6 boxes at work and 6 boxes at home. It really is not about that. Let's get clear. The balance is really about in your own shift in the mindset of aligning your mind, body, and soul. And to be able to do that, different people have different ways of doing it. The way that really helps for me is, in terms of doing a lot of internal work, creating that mindset shift which is there, whether it is through exercises, through meditations, through learning new things, various aspects of creating that mindset shift when you talk of the work-life balance which is there. The fourth and a very simple aspect, mentoring and networking support for women. We have such amazing platforms like Women Power Global Movement. Reach out, ask for help, talk to Manisha, talk to Anandita, ask, hey, how did you do it? I am struggling with this piece, right? Manisha, how did you manage your work-life balance, or you continue to work? Anandita is working woman. Hey, and you know what? The thing is, the moment so the fourth aspect really is strengthen the sisterhood.
Yes.
Go out and strengthen the sisterhood, because we all are each there for each other. There are so many women who want to help each other create that work-life balance. How did you do it? What can I do? What can I not do? Right? You have to strengthen this sisterhood. And that's my real also motive from Katha Stories. That's my 4 takeaways from work-life balance.
Fantastic.
Excellent, Pradnya. And I feel that yes, asking for help does not mean that you are any less.
Yes.
It is just, sharing and taking the positive takeaways and also sharing your positive takeaways. Maybe the other person who are asking for help will try to ponder and learn something even better, even new, and also give you some more insights. She may or he may get some more insights. And another thing very rightly said, and I also believe, is that in terms of taking help, I think at home we should create a culture where there should not be any distinction. This is a man's work and this is a woman's work. बर्तन तो उनको ही करना चाहिए, झाड़ू पोछा उनको करना चाहिए, washing machine उनको चलाना चाहिए. I think this basic concept, if we clear, in the future, what will happen? We are also teaching our children through practice, not through only preaching, through practice. So when they have their family, they will understand and they will also agree to that mindset, and accordingly they will respect their spouses also. So it becomes a very equal share for everything, and no one is burdened. Thank you so much. Brilliantly said. Yes. And I think this COVID has also taught us this, right? One of the very positive side of COVID. Yes. Right.
I think it begins from the home.
Self-sufficiency and resilience. And I think everyone should do this.
Yeah.
Brilliantly said, Pradnya.
The charity begins at home, and the initiatives we want, the change we want to see, let's begin that at home.
Absolutely. And it is, we have an innate, urge to prove ourselves as superwoman. Oh, nahi, tum mat karo, hum kar denge. So that, I think we should rethink about it. We are humans. We are humans.
Exactly. Let's be human. Come on. So very wonderfully said, Anandita.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Over to another brilliant speaker, Manisha.
Thank you so much, my dear friend, Anandita. So what wonderfully put across, Pradnya, and again, the inputs from Anandita, fantastic. I feel the need for us to speak out for help or reach out for help also has its roots in the fact that the voices have been stifled for very long, right? So that fear is still there in most of the women. They're not able to speak up, for themselves, or maybe even seek help. I believe, and the stories and the platforms like the platform we are here today, Women Power, the global movement, they are the voice of all the women all across. And your story, Pradnya, is so motivating. Again, taking guidance and that light from your grandparents and still taking it. You spoke about your maternal side grandmother, wherein she suffered from, she pulled out herself from the cancer. Such a source of courage, for somebody who is watching from here, and she's 85 now. So I believe, those little instances that we get from life, and I very truly believe those challenges are thrown at us to make us and push us to becoming the best versions of ourselves. We don't have any other option but to move up the ladder, because having that sulky face, I always say, and crying in a room is not going to solve the problem. Meeting it heads on is going to solve the problem and the challenge that we have in life. What a fantastic journey till now in this show, and what a day Pradnya. My question to you now is the most intriguing questions that I have had, and that is, what triggered Katha? What triggered Katha? You know, and you are enabling women. You are enabling women, and is your organization also reaching out only in like your sphere or your kind of region, or is it like open for everyone internationally? So these are my questions to you.
Right. So I'll begin from the last question that you asked. So Katha is open for every woman out in the world, beyond nationality, beyond ethnicity, beyond race, color, caste, religion. Absolutely. It is open for every woman around the world. So it is a global online platform. And so what inspired me, I will talk about what inspired me to start Katha, and then I will talk a little bit about our vision, right? Going back to the same, I really have very, very strong roots, Manisha, in terms of my upbringing and childhood. And when I was about 18 years old, right, there was, because I did see my great grandfather, my mother, my grandmother working towards women empowerment and making them financially independent. I had a strong urge that I want to do something as well, right? But at the age of 18, my father was working. He did send us to, you know, his, in terms of financially, we were decent enough. He did send us to the best schools in the town and stuff and etc. So he wouldn't let me work at the age of 18, right? There was no way that I could work. So my opportunity when I saw was, if you remember, during our days, there was this Aptech Institute, which used to teach us coding and computers and C and C++ and Java, whatever. I used to go to Aptech and learn computers there. And there was this beauty pageant which had come up. They had put a, you know, advertisement, and they said that, you know, through this, you will get to work with young girls' education and women employment. Okay. So as everybody over here may know, that beauty pageants are assigned and allocated with a certain charity work to do, and that's for a bigger cause, social cause, which is run. That's the entire intent of it. I said, wow, that's really nice. And for me, that was attraction, right? I'm going to work towards, you know, young girls' education and women employment. So I joined that. Well, you know, I don't know, I call it destiny, Manisha. I won that beauty pageant. I won Miss Belgium when I was 18 years old. So that early on, it put a lot of responsibility on me, I felt, because a lot of media houses, papers, magazines covered my story, my journey. And somewhere I felt, well, that was my responsibility. And then I started working in bits and pieces, and I know in whatever way I can. Over the years, through my corporate journey and career, I've always been very, very fascinated, especially with women leaders that I've worked with, right? How their career journey has been, how they have embarked, how they have broken the barriers, right? When I was working with Sigma Info Solutions, I had a woman founder who was working as an engineer, and then she had started her own company. So that was in a way breaking barrier and breaking glass ceiling for me. So I worked directly with her. So I worked with these kind of women, you know, to name a few, who had broken the glass ceilings, who inspired me to, at various stages, to put forward my idea, my thoughts, take it forward at, you know, whether it is men or women or any platform, right? So that's where it actually really, really began, that entire journey, I would say. And then moving on, somewhere through my mind, it was always there, that connection towards beauty pageant was always there. Growing through corporate years and all of that, it all happened. But there was one fine moment, I don't know how it happened, when in 2017, again, I saw this advertisement very, very randomly, Manisha, not really pursuing or wanting to see it, of Mrs. India UK.
Okay.
Up until then, as a part of which I had done small fashion shows, projects when I was young. But the reason also is that as I said, my family was very, very insistent on pursuing education. They were very clear of that, both my mom and we were given the freedom, but there was a set of frame, not beyond that. And, you know, I couldn't pursue it beyond that. I'm being very honest and open. My dad said no to, you know, go ahead and pursue that journey of me professionally. Fair enough.
Yeah.
So somewhere when, that happened in 2017, I joined it again with the same intent. I really want to do something for women. It was always there. And I did in bits and pieces through my career journey when I could, right? Like, for example, if I have to give example, when I work with young startups, having work from home, we started for women in back then in the startup, right? Which wasn't even there, let's say 10 years back, wasn't even there.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right. So these things like this for women, right? Maternity policy. Let's look at the maternity policy that's there for women. What can we do differently? That, one of my founder who was a woman, she came up and said, "Now, what can we do?" Right? Women go on, take maternity. Is 3 months enough? Because we had 3 months. Not really, right? 3 months is not enough. Come on.
No, it
So
is
we
not.
really, exactly.
Yeah.
So things like leave policies, maternity policies, and various other aspects, especially when it comes to women. So that's where I started contributing in bits and pieces through my corporate career towards women development and women empowerment. It happened simultaneously, and I was very fortunate enough to work with women leaders. In Flipkart, I had again worked with a few women leaders where we had had some amazing different kind of policies were inspired due to women. And then when Mrs. India 2017 happened, I won that. And then obviously, like I said, media houses started covering my story, my journey. A lot of my own family friends started asking me, "Hey, how did you do it? You have a 3-year-old son. How do you keep yourself fit?" Simple question, Manisha. How do you keep yourself fit, right? At the age of whatever, 34, 35, you look whatever. How do you keep yourself fit? You have a 4-year-old son. You're working in a HR corporate. How do you manage to do it? That's a dream that I wanted to do. So for them, it was achieving a dream, right? And when people started really reading and talking about my journey, that I reached a stage I still remember. I was like, hey, wait, it is not only me. It is Manisha. It is Anandita. Everybody is doing it, right? It is.
Absolutely.
So for me, there was one moment I still remember. I want the world to read stories of all the women excellence who have achieved, whatever they have achieved and achieved their dreams, basically, achieved their purpose.
Fantastic.
So then I was like, what can I do? Right. So I'm going to put all my
Connecting the dots.
Yes, connecting the dots. So I started connecting the dots. So this happened during my second pregnancy when my son Arav was born. And along this journey, I have to mention here, my husband has been such a rock support. The kind of perseverance, the kind of resilience, and the kind of hard work that he has shown in his career has really pushed me forward. He said, give it a thought. So I put forward, I like writing, good enough. I like the business aspect of it because I worked in HR business partnering, organizational development, worked with worked with really, really amazing leaders, frame policy procedures. I like the business aspect. So what can I do? I want to do something for women. I'm going to put it all together and start writing women stories, right? Women entrepreneur stories. And it is all about achieving your purpose and dream through struggles, through hardships, through challenging days. There are days where absolutely they are horrible. We all know where you're really struggling to pull yourself up, but you still show up to your work because you're so passionate about it. I want to start writing their stories, and I want people to read. Most of them specifically are not covered in the media light, right? It is not about being on the big page of Entrepreneur Magazine, XYZ Magazine, because it's popular. It is really about women like you and me have everyday struggles, but we still push through our dreams to achieve it so that it gives light, hope, courage, confidence, and conviction to other women that yes, we can do it. That was the inspiration. Long story, bit of a long story.
Absolutely. If you can tell us, how can women reach out to your organization if they want to be a part of the initiative that you've taken?
So they are feel free to contact me anytime through the Katha page is kathaoffbeat.com. If you look for Katha Stories Unheard, the website would come up. I'm pretty much there on all the social media platforms.
Okay,
And
that's
so
okay. Okay. So I pledge that I'm going to connect more women with you,
please do.
and let us pledge that we are going to connect more women on this platform also, because there's so many unheard stories of courage
Yes.
that are still wanting to come up, and those little rays of hope is what these platforms and your initiatives like what Anandita does. She's doing a fantastic job in her sphere of profession. I keep reading her things, on the social media. I think all women are doing fantastic jobs, which need to be reaching out to other women
Absolutely.
also. Yeah. So with that, Anandita, over to you, please.
Thank you, Manisha. You're really very generous, I would say, and I'm really humbled. Well, even a wee bit contribution, if we all can do, I think we should really feel blessed by that. I think coming to this initiative, beautiful initiative, Katha of yours. Did you see any difference in acceptance in the international market and Indian market? And maybe if you would like to say something about how you saw women being transformed, any transformation, any milestone really like to give us as a case study or example where people can be benefited?
Sure. So Anandita, the vision that we have, it's a two-folded vision from Katha Stories Unheard, right? One is it's a recognition platform where we recognize and celebrate women entrepreneurs or women professionals or who are change makers in their own space. And on the other side, we look forward to bring to the world the inspiration, insights, and ideas. Now, what are the milestones, and how does the international market or international platform look at this initiative? Second, how has it helped? So one, how does the international platform, like we have been interacting, Manisha, Anandita, is that we have said that the era has changed. We have seen so much of shift in terms of the way women empowerment is happening all over the world across various spheres of life, right? Whether it is through organizations or institutions or government bodies or policymakers, it's everything is really shifted, right? We do see a lot of change which is happening, which is why I think that shift has also happened at a very international level. To be very honest with you, Anandita, when I actually started, I never ever thought that I would get such a very inspiring and encouraging feedback and support from the people. But everybody have really, the kind of feedback we've been getting has been amazing. They have taken it in a very positive stride. And I do really, because of this initiative, I do really actually see the shift happening in terms of +1 towards sisterhood. Okay. And by that, I mean, not just women, both men and women like DKG, who is actually really coming forward and working towards empowerment. And I do see that shift at an international level as well. It has been perceived amazingly. A lot of people are coming together and joining hands. How has it actually helped and transformed? Now, to put it in a very unfiltered way, right? It really began, I started seeing the change from my own network and group of friends, right? I still remember this moment very crystal clear in my mind. I had connected up with one woman through a network, entrepreneur group network. Eventually, because of a similar mindset, we became friends and stuff. There was one day when she was conversing with me about her work. She said, Pradnya, it is only because of Katha Stories Unheard, I am starting my business. I am starting my business, and that courage of starting business I have got only because I have read your stories.
Brilliant.
That was like, I was like, wow, even if it is, they say, right, one is always better than zero. So for me, it was that moment, right? That was first. Second, I had my own friends, 3-4 friends who have actually embarked either getting back on the career or actually starting small niche business apart from the professional work that they do, right? So that is very encouraging to me. So I see the transformational at two levels. For us, we have two stakeholders, Anandita. One is the entrepreneurs themselves. The second is the audience or the readers who read it. The entrepreneurs at an entrepreneurial level, when I talk of the entrepreneur stories that I publish, there are two major milestones that I can mention. Every entrepreneur story I've published, they have said, there was not one stage in my business journey when I've stopped and looked back. This was my point, Pradnya, when you actually approached me and asked me about my journey. And it was so fulfilling to look back on what we have done and what we have achieved. We feel inspired to do more. That's like really amazing. To be able to inspire them to do more is like really amazing, I feel. Second, I have had few entrepreneurs who have actually come back and said they have got sales calls, inquiry calls, and they've said sales have happened, right? So their business has increased by whatever percent because we've published their stories. So that is on the entrepreneur front, which is there, which has happened. And for the audiences, as I've already mentioned, I've had quite a few friends who have come back and said, like Monday, I'm going to be meeting up with a friend of mine who's my school friend. We have got connected because of Katha or whatever. And then she is actually starting her own small venture apart from her professional work, and she's seeking help from me. She said Katha has been such an inspiration. So these kind of milestones where people are actually realizing what they really want to do, their purpose, their dream, and giving the food and energy to it to nourish and cherish is very fulfilling to see.
Great, thank you. See, creating a difference, and it is purpose driven. That is all I
Yes.
think we all want, and that can bring in a change, a very positive change, bright change, and do wonders to the society. Sure. With this, I would just ask you sort of a rapid fire. Okay, now three things, 3 points, three aspects. You think from a man's perspective, suggestion, advice, you think that can make a woman or help a woman, aid a woman, support a woman to be empowered? Three from men's perspective, and three from a woman's perspective.
Sure. Wonderful. So I think first I will talk about from a men's perspective, right? So I think from a man's perspective, I would say the first thing is really continue doing what you're doing in terms of supporting women, in terms of uplifting her, encouraging her. The best and the biggest example, again, I can give is DKG, who is here with us today. Somebody like DK, and who's actually working towards women empowerment. And we see that shift that has happened over the years, where women have fought for votes actually years and years back, and we are at a stage where we are actually talking of moving, where we have women breaking barriers and being a part of different kind of bodies and institutions, is also because of equally men, right? So continue doing what you're doing, because we have seen that change actually happening because of you all. So let's say continue doing that, right? And like I said, DKG is the biggest example who is actually working towards women empowerment. So that's first thing, right? Second, I would say as many more and more men can actually actively look to support, right? Now, passively it might happen because there's somebody in the house who wants to do this. There's women in your house who wants to chase her dreams, who want to fulfill her purpose, or be a woman leader at her workplace. That will actually naturally happen. But if men are actually able to actively look out for various platforms and contribute in whatever way they can, right? To let me give you the best example, Anandita. I have few of my friends who contribute so actively towards Katha Stories Unheard. Something which I miss saying, Katha Stories Unheard is a not-for-profit organization we began, and it still continues to be not-for-profit. I have so many men, friends, colleagues, right from my childhood friends and my colleagues who have been a part of my career journey, met at different networking events. They are really helping me actively. They say, you know what? I know this woman, you should probably have her on your platform. I should know. They themselves do it, not even me asking them, right? So that's like actively looking for platforms where you can contribute and support towards women empowerment in whatever way you can, right? It need not necessarily be money, finance, or time. It can be anything through connecting each other, whatever it is. So basically what I say is that actively doing it, right? It's like, okay, somebody's asked me, something has come, let's do it. Instead of that, let's be a little proactive. If they can be a little proactive, like DKG has been, it would actually make so much of difference, right? So I would say proactiveness. That's the second thing. And I think the third thing possibly could be is, I think, the cultural shift a little bit in the mindset for men.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely right.
So that's the third. Okay. For women, the first thing I would say is that, and I think this applies to me as well, really, I think no matter which part of the world you live, what kind of a society you live, what kind of roles that we still stereotypically have been told that at home you need to do XYZ, bartan, pocha, jhadu, cooking, taking care of kids, childcare. I have two young boys, 8 and 2, 8 and 2 years old, whatever, right? Basic response. Beyond all of that, I know it's hard work. I know it takes a lot of courage and confidence, but let's push a little bit towards that. Try and understand, create. Every woman should have a dream for herself. Should have, right? I think that's the first thing every woman, I think that mindset, so there a bit of mindset shift will come, right? I need to have my own identity. What is my, I feel that the purpose of life is to lead a purposeful life.
Brilliant.
The moment,
absolutely right, Pradnya, absolutely right. And I believe what example would we have Dan and Anandita sitting here? I would add one more word, and that's commitment. Our lady is taking the session from a marriage, which most of the women, give a priority to. It's a family marriage, come on. But coming down to the Women Power Global Moment show, fulfilling her commitment while she's sitting there and she's seeing, I'm sure, seeing everyone enjoy out there. What proactiveness, commitment on this platform, and
absolutely.
What a source of inspiration. Again, this is a
very
live example that we have, right? So
thank you so much,
yes,
Manisha. Well, this
very
is,
right.
Global Talent is also a family, and if DKB says something, I mean, it's that
yes,
we can never say no. So that's why I said, though I have a commitment. But honestly speaking, I'm so honored to be part of this session. And Pradnya, you're such a beautiful orator, so articulate, so eloquent. It's so beautiful to hear. And you know why? All these attributes come when you speak from your heart and you believe in that purpose. And I rightly said, we all live life, we work, yes, but we should, each one of us should have one meaningful purpose in life.
Yes,
That's
yes.
absolutely. Otherwise, we cannot get going. And
No.
like you said, that people should say yes. I think even someone, instead of saying yes you do it, yes you do it, that support, even important is if people not stopping you to do something, even that is somewhere a very big support for us ladies, I guess. Thank you so much, Bakshi sir and Manisha and Pradnya. Loved you, but please excuse me, as you can see this haldi.
Yes, please.
Now I have to leave. I'm so sorry. I will be missing, but I'll definitely see the recording later on YouTube. But it's an honor to be part of the show and speaking to you, Pradnya, to Global Talent. I'm thankful, particularly to Manisha. Wish you a wonderful show. Thank you so much. And please excuse me, I have to take the leave.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Anandita. Thank you so much.
I really wish you all the best and stay connected with you.
Yes, so absolutely wonderful journey till now with you, Pradanya. I think we have lost Pradanya on the call as she had connected from UK. while we wait for her connecting back to us, we are on the Women Power, a global moment show, which is very, very close to DK Bakshi's heart. And we have Miss Pradnya again back with us. Yeah, so back with a bang, lady. You are on the mute.
Yes, sorry. So I think there was some stories. There was
No
some.
worries, no worries at all. No worries at all. I had taken over, so that's not to worry at all. And I believe with your kind of an organization, let us add those heroes of Katha, your initiative on this platform too. And so it can be from this platform to your
Yes,
journey of
absolutely.
Katha. I think that'll be a wonderful, wonderful amalgamation of women power. So with that, Pradnya, if you were not, I have this question up, you were not doing this, what other social cause do you think you'll be fighting for now? This is one. Two is women right from when they're girls are taught how to walk, talk, even gaze is managed most of the time in most cultures. What is your message for women who are living in fear?
Sure. Just before that, Manisha, I would like to add just one point on the last question that Anandita had asked me in terms of what can women, 3 takeaways that women can have. One, I said, of course, basically the purpose of life is to lead a purposeful life and find a dream. The second that I would really, really want to emphasize, and I thought it was important for me to mention, is that along the journey, and I'm sure everybody available here, you, DKG, and we have all our audiences would agree is that along the journey, there will be many people who are going to talk many things, right? Who are going to say good, who are going to say bad, right? When you travel on a journey. So there was one really amazing advice I had received, and most times I try to, is that along the journey, you have to mute the noises. Right? You have to learn to mute the noises which are there and stay focused, because it is important to mute. It is a noise, right? You have to learn to mute that noise and then listen to your voice, which is running in your head. And then along the journey, then just work towards your plan. And, those technical aspects will normally come, just putting a plan together and working towards it. So that's the aspect which I wanted to share. Now, coming to your question, Manisha, what cause would I be working if I was not working towards Katha Stories Unheard? Very difficult question, actually, I should say, because like Anandita was mentioning, something when you talk from your heart of what you're really doing, it is so difficult to really think of something else. But I think it would possibly be something for young girls, again related to women, of course, I say, but possibly something which I'm eventually trying to think of, as Katha grows, is for young girls, especially because I strongly believe that education plays a very important role in an individual's upbringing, change in mindset, and the kind of change that we really want to see, right?
Absolutely,
So
absolutely.
I think that is one cause which possibly I would work towards, especially towards bringing more awareness towards young girls' education, the way we see. Because if we are able to create that education, Manisha, if you remember the question that you had for me in the beginning, what
Yes.
can young girls do? Because they're into fear, if you're able to educate them, they really have that confidence. They get the conviction. They get a lot of awareness to push through their dreams in spite of the obstacles. So
Absolutely right. Absolutely.
I think that is one cause which possibly would definitely be where I could possibly see associating myself, in terms of whether it could be girls or boys, doesn't matter. But I think education is critical, because equal education to men is also important in terms of, having that support women need to break barriers and move forward. So I think it's a give and take both ways, I would say.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So to be able to create that more inclusive and diverse and inclusive causes which are there across the world is something which I would look at. The second,
Absolutely right. Absolutely right.
Yeah. So, so sorry, what was the second thing that you had
The
mentioned?
second question you already answered. My question was that women are, or girls are taught right from the beginning, you know, how to walk,
Yes.
talk, gaze. We spoke about your story when you wanted to wear salwar kameez and your father said no. So the second question was more on what will your message be for women who are living in fear? I believe, yes, education plays a very important role. And so do men in our life and women in our life, our families, our
Yeah.
friends. And I believe more than that, the light from within. And that pulls us through the life journey and
True.
gives it a direction. I very strongly believe that pain is a game changer,
It is.
Pradnya. So in my case, I am a single parent to a special
Wow.
child who was
Wow.
never accepted by his father.
Wow.
If I look back 10 years, I was a scared little cub in 2007 when I got married and had Rudraksh in my
Wow.
life. And didn't know what to do
Right.
because he was given up all his rights as a boy. And I saw a lot of people around me saying, you are doing the wrong thing by standing with your son. So I
Hats off to you, Manisha. Hats off to you. Hats
yes,
off.
I feel the pain is the driving
Oh
force
my God. Yes,
that we
it
have
is.
in life.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. Really, really. Hats off to you. I don't think, everybody is able to pull through that courage the way
Oh,
you have.
yes. 10 years of a long battle in the court of
Wow.
law
So
for
inspiring.
the rights of Rudraksh, and a single parent today. I feel I sleep well, and my soul is clear. So
Wow.
that's that's what propels
Amazing.
me. So
Amazing.
with that,
So I think especially on the fear aspect, there was one incident which I remember when I was working with the
yeah.
construction company, right? It was like I
Yeah.
said in UK, and like
Yeah.
we have these barriers that women cannot work in construction companies. There is gender, these things.
Yeah.
I still remember there was one incident very early on in the first to the second week, because I had joined as the only person in HR. It was a startup project and things like that. There were about 15 men in a meeting room, Manisha. It was my first.
One Pradnya.
Yes, one Pradnya. Okay. So you can imagine, I've always worked in industries like IT, retail, which had a decent mixed gender mix, right? For me, it was my first time. And I was extremely overwhelmed. I was not too sure. There was a meeting which was going on. And there was one moment when I was sitting in the meeting. I was the only woman there. And I was like, if I don't speak up now, I will never be able to speak up, because these meetings are going to happen every Monday. Every Monday, they're going to be 15 men and only me. This is not going to change for
you don't have a choice. You don't have a choice.
And like you rightly mentioned, I was like, I really pulled together my guts. I said, I have something to say. And then I forgot what I wanted to say, Manisha.
So very
anyway, so those are the fear moments we will all come through, right? We will always face. It is not once, it is not twice. As a woman, we will always face these. You have to really put forward your courage. If I don't do it now, I will never be able to do it.
Oh, yes. And every day, I believe we have to keep injecting ourselves those little doses of courage. We have got injected with the COVID injections, though. But every day, injecting ourselves with the doses of courage, self-care, belief.
But I'm so inspired by your journey, Manisha. Truly. It really touched me so much.
Humbled, madam. Now let me go to the women empowerment piece that we're all discussing here. Now, this is very close to DK's heart. And today we are sitting together on this platform. As I shared, it is such a fantastic amalgamation of Katha and, women power, the global moment. Building this together possibly is what I see in future. I would be keen to know from you, what is women empowerment in your words? One word which you say, or two words which you say is the real women empowerment, and how does it work out to empower women? Why and how would you, and do you think you'll be able to kind of contribute to this movement, which is Women Power, a global movement? Pradnya.
Yeah. So what actually is women empowerment? To me, if I have to really say, it is about the freedom a woman has to be able to make her own decisions. We've been really looking at, the way decision making happens across, whether it is at home, organizations, institutions, government bodies, whatever it is, right? The freedom to make her own choice and decision, to me, is truly women empowerment. It could be anything, right? Whether she wants to start her business, she wants to go back to work, she wants to be a homemaker, have child, not have child, be a single mother, not a single mother, whatever that means, that means, right?
Walk, talk, eat, sleep.
Yes, absolutely. To be able
You're
to have
overweight.
that freedom and break through that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like stereotypes of how. So that to me is really, really women empowerment, right? Second aspect, I think all of us, in a way, where, as I was mentioning, there were decades and decades back, women have fought, those women had fought for the votes of women, right? And which is why we are able to experience whatever so-called privilege the women have today.
Oh,
right?
yes.
And I think if we are able to continue doing that in terms of whatever way we can across various dimensions of life, whether it could be, again, whether it could be our families or it could be outside societies, and whatever way we could contribute towards that, that could actually, mean women empowerment in true sense and bring about that change what we have seen 50 years back and today. If we continue doing this, we will see a better change 50 years from now. I know it is time consuming. The kind of stats and reports that we all read, whether it is in Forbes, and not very encouraging. Whether it could be gender equality, pay parity, especially, in the organizations that we see.
But the journey has to go on.
Yes, the journey has to go on. The journey has to go on, right?
Yeah.
And so yes, I think that is one. Second, in terms of how do I see, or rather contributing towards this, the cause, which is Women Power Global Movement, I possibly see, like you mentioned, right, because Katha is a similar platform, right? I really see ample of opportunities, whether it could be bringing forward movement, talking of their stories, or whether it could be as at a little deeper level as mentoring, because I see a lot of scope. So I also do coaching and mentoring for women, especially for women. So I do see a lot of change that happens that a woman goes through when she goes through those sessions, right? It could also be possibly through those sessions, or it could also be through knowledge sharing sessions, right? I see a lot of opportunities. These were three aspects which I could think of to begin with. Associate, or rather get lot more people connected with Women Power that I know who are doing such amazing work can be a part of this movement, right? So I see a lot of array of opportunities and light of the way I can contribute and continue to be a part of it.
Thank you so much, Pradnya. It has been such a fantastic journey with you today, and such a wonderful day sitting with you. I was looking forward to the same ever since DK had asked me to kind of host this program with Anandita. And now, as we have come to the end of the program, I would like to invite the Honorable Women, Mr. DK Bakshi himself, to convey his vote of thanks.
Hello, DKG. How are you? So wonderful to see you.
DK sir, you are on the mute.
You're on mute. You're on mute.
DK sir, you are on the mute.
EKG, you're
Hi.
on mute.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
What an amazing, brilliant session. Indeed, a pleasure to have Pradnya on this hashtag Women Power show, which is established in 20 countries. And last 2 years, not a single Saturday is lost, irrespective of COVID, first wave or second wave.
Oh,
And
amazing.
this journey continuously moving on because of people like Manisha, who is Women Power Delhi, or you had Anindya, she is attending a wedding in Mumbai. She's from Hyderabad, but she was committed here and show went on and on. Then she had to move with Mehdi and all that. I feel proud and I feel honored to have with me such women powers of the world who contribute to building it up more strongly and strongly. Ladies and gentlemen around the world, in USA, Canada, good morning, Europe, England, Africa, good afternoon, Asia Pacific, good evening, and Australia. Ash is watching you from Brisbane. He's almost in midnight. This platform, which is the first women power, of course, is my mom and Dr. Kiran Bedi, from day one, who wanted this movement to go global, from Kiran Bedi to Sister Shivani to Firaz Masani to Shazia Almi to Malini Avastis to, you name women, IPS, IS officers, ambassadors, a lot of women, and not only Indian, global women. And today, when I was talking to my supreme women power, you could see Pradnya, when Manisha gave her story of her excellence, her substance, fighting with the world and winning that. Look at her face, how she was talking. Look at her DNA, how she was talking, with a special child of 10 years struggle. And in fact, she was also very closely attached to her mom, and she lost her mom just 2 months back. 2 months away, na?
So
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, so they are watching us. My mom is watching us. Her mom is watching her. Sometimes we do cry each other when we talk, Manisha and me. And today, the way the program go, and I remember, Pradnya, you got connected to me through another woman called Omita.
Yes.
And what Omita had gone through in life, and I had challenged her that you will come on my show by December 2020, which she did not believe. And I got her on the show.
True,
And
true.
I worked with her, and she was in pain, as every pain follows by gain. Ladies and gentlemen, amazing discussion of a woman from Pune, somewhere, up country of Pune, and she talked about from a background where her mother-in-law was the light in her life as a chief mentor for her. And she talked about how tough it was in the beginning, moving from a Shilwar kameez. Oh, Anindya has joined again. I'm happy to see her joining again. Maybe she has changed her clothes also. And she's back. And the way she talked about the journey, Anindya, welcome back. Anindya, welcome back. Okay. And ladies and gentlemen, you need to understand, these are storytelling of women of excellence, women of substance. Anindya has been here on the show as a woman of substance, as a speaker. Manisha has been here on the show as a speaker, like we have today, Pradnya. Now they are themselves running the show. This is the power, beauty of this women power. I told everybody, I said, why should I do 4 Saturdays? Please carry on. I will come only on the vote of thanks. This is their show. This is your show. The women power. Women, I always say, is the quality. And you've seen the quality, what we had today from the guest speaker, when she talked about her own passion and perseverance. And she said, I never knew about networking. And today, see, Mrs. India, UK, she would have never thought, dreamed about it. And she said that it's all passion. And from an Asian woman going to England, I can understand, I have worked there, very tough. When I went to England to take over a plant in 2000, it's not that far, 2009, I was told, how can you do it as an Indian company? And the same people said, you made our life. The last 2 years, we're not getting salary, and you gave us salary from day one. That is the power of Indian women. And I want to talk here is that all the women, whether it's a story of a women in Canada or India or Africa or Afghanistan, remains the same. I have been titled as an honorable woman in this process, and I still believe, even if we talk about the Western world, there are still issues of a similar nature, what is in east of India or west of India. It will take another decades to have that gender equality.
Yes.
SDC 5 of United Nations. It's not easy, it's tough. But whatever contribution we can make into this is very important. That's where this movement has started last 2 years. It's going great. And especially for the women when they go through the motherhood. How many challenges, physical, mental, health, and then they keep the balance on. It's not easy. I have seen my mom, I have seen my sisters, I have seen my wife, I have seen my colleagues. So I salute the women around the world. That is the reason this movement is irrespective of caste, creed, nationality, color, and religion around the world. And they said hunger in the belly and the fire in the belly. And beautifully, the guest speaker said, alone you cannot do it. It's not possible. Cannot do it alone. You need support of men as well as women. She talked about her own husband, how he supported her. And that's the fact of how my colleagues, my wife, my mom has brought me together today, what I am in the world, what my family is in the global world. When my mom was only 41 and I was 12-year-old and my father expired, how did she manage to do it? And we are all in the global world, in different parts of the world today. Education, 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 as rightly said by Pradnya, that education made a difference. And we as Kashmiri Pandits who have gone through such a mess in the world in 1989-90, we are today in the world only because education. Yesterday was birthday of my Guru, Padma Shri Dr. Pritam Singh. We lost him during COVID. He has been the patron. I have learned a lot from him. He has been my father and the friend and a guru. You know what he used to say? He used to say, countries are not destroyed by poor quality of weapons. Countries are not destroyed by poor quality of weapons. Countries are destroyed by poor quality of education. Countries are not destroyed by poor quality of weapons, and countries are destroyed by poor quality of education. Quality of education. And education for women is essentially more important. And you just see the more education, the women become more empowered.
True.
Unfortunately, in a country recently in Afghanistan, you know what has happened. I know 150 Afghan women with whom I have done programs of leadership. I have been to Afghanistan on United Nations UN Women with First Lady inviting me. Some of the women I am not in touch with, whether they are alive or not. Some of the women gone to different countries and I am talking to them. And one of the women who left Afghanistan in that Taliban moment recently, she's in the Netherlands. We got her on the show. Farooq. She has been our chapter head for Afghanistan. Wow. And still, women are being You know what's going on in Taliban in Afghanistan. So what I'm trying to say here is that women is power. We all need to respect the power of the world, whether it's your mom, the sister, the wife, the colleagues, daughter. We call in India Lakshmi. And people like Manisha, Anitya, and Pradnya is a true example of sharing their stories with those who are still trying to achieve. And this katha, this storytelling, is the same between katha and women power. Because here, those people who have learned today, how did she do it? Some of them will take it forward, and she gave examples. Somebody has started business, somebody has done this. That's what is happening to my movement as well. That I learned this from here and I did it, and they're doing it. I think one of the discussions which was very important, uplifting others. Everybody has a potential. This is the platform of uplifting others. Because their mindset probably is not working. So this is the time when you are bringing up their mindset.
Correct.
You call it hammering, 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 hammering. A hammering effect to those who have the talent, who have the capability, but they are not able to do it because there's nobody to tell them that you can do it. There's nobody to push them that you can do it. There's nobody to inspire them you can do it. Today's show is an inspiring show for those women who still are thinking whether to do it or not to do it. But Pradnya today pushed them to do it. Those who are watching now and those who will be watching it later, even if we are able to contribute only 5 women to do it, we have done this show. We are not making any single dollar or a single rupee or a single baht. Continuously, we are spending time, effort, energy on it, money on it, because we want to make a difference. And people, when I started this and I was interviewed, it's a crazy idea of having 1 million women on this platform. And I was interviewed and the LinkedIn and the others and the cover page article, a crazy man. I said, yes, I am a crazy man. I am a mad man. And I can tell you we can do it. And I could have never done it without the support of people like Manisha, Anintya, Anshul, Milani, so many women in the world who supported this. And today, Pradnya becomes another partner to this movement. I like the idea when you said mute the noises. I love this word, mute the noises. I used to call it earlier, I had forgotten, and today you rebuilt in my mind. Because there will be people on the road, when you're moving on the roadmap to success, when you're driving a car and suddenly you see the dog coming behind you, you just look into the mirror, move forward. And behind me, Manisha comes again. The same dog will say, woof, 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 woof. Manisha has to mute the noises. People will be talking about this. Let's mute the noise. Keep focus. Focus, 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 and focus, and focus. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what to say, but from the core of my heart, I am really grateful to my 2 Women Power Delhi, Manisha Sharma, Mini, we call her Mini Sharma, because on the Facebook she comes as Mini, on the LinkedIn she comes as Manisha. So to tag her, I have to think twice whether I
Mini is what my grandmother used to call me, DK. Yeah.
So Mini and Anitya, and we started, I did not know Manisha and digital mode, but finally being in India, so I went to her side of Paschim Vihar. We had lunch together. Anitya, I met recently on a face-to-face show. I invited her in Hyderabad. I got to Vizag, then I went to Hyderabad. I said, come on the show. Let's meet together. It was powerful meeting her as well. I'm yet to meet Pradnya, but we are already having positive vibrations.
Yes.
And maybe mid of 2021, I will certainly meet her in UK, or maybe she comes to India and we will have a meeting here. Ladies and gentlemen, couple of things to remember. This show has gone to places in the world. We have covered so many people. Manisha is part of it. 8th March 2021, International Women Day. I will be releasing the book, #Women Power Global Moment, top 10 stories of 10 women who have come on this platform. And then another 10, then another 10. But first book will be released on 8th March 2021, whether hopefully in Delhi itself, and Dr. Kiran Bedi will be part of that movement. This thing, and I will invite some of the powerful women to be on this show, and this is certainly finalized. Book is being edited, and that's going to be #1 announcement. I was supposed to be traveling to Bangkok, could not travel. I have to go to North America on 3rd of December. And so I'm trying to avoid going to another crowds now so that I can enter US. So therefore, Bangkok face-to-face, I am not doing now. I will be doing only when I return back to Asia around 10th of January, and I will do an event in Bangkok, live event of 100 women. So my objective is 2022. We will be doing face-to-face events in cities like Mumbai, Delhi, Hyderabad, Pune, Chennai, Chandigarh, Jammu in the country, and Singapore, Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur, Thailand, England, Toronto, North of New York. I'm going to New York. I had planned to do it, but I think it's too tough still because of the COVID protocols. So I decided not to do it. I'll go to Toronto, I'm going to Mexico. So I'll not be doing in this visit. But 22, I will keep on doing now face-to-face shows of moving forward. Pradnya, I don't know what to say. I'm speechless when I was hearing your story of excellence. Beautiful story of excellence. And this is a fact what Manisha said. And this responsibility I am giving to Mini Sharma. How do we collaborate, Katha and women power together?
True. Wonderful.
How do we do it together? How do we come together as a Katha and women power, wherein we collaborate together on this movement, and we have common, another thing common, I am also an HROD guy.
I know.
Came from what I did, I can't share because it was a very different this thing. I could not take cameras or smartphone with me. 3 days deployment of something very unique and nation building process I have been doing. I reached morning here at 3:30 in the morning, and it was I cannot tell you what I did. I cannot tell you where I was. It's a nation building process. I was doing 3 days deployment.
You're still doing nation building, DK.
It's
We are doing world building.
Yes.
Yeah.
Global
Therefore,
movement.
Global building.
So therefore, entire thing is that we need to create. I always talk about trust, transparency, togetherness, leading to transformation. Trust, transparency, togetherness, leading to transformation.
Beautiful.
And, yesterday was International Men's Day. I sent message of that to International Men's Day also gives women to think about men. Men are also equally important, like women are important.
Yes.
In both categories, there will be people of different thinking and different mindset. So it's not women are bad or men are bad. In men, there will be people. In women, there will be people. There will be women who will take wrong advantage of men, and there will be men who will take wrong advantage of women. So this is possible everywhere. And I keep saying this because I've seen this. I face this every day, irrespective of being caring, compassionate, concerned. Still, I will have those challenges. But Mini Sharma always counsels me, says, fight. DK, you're born to do it. Move ahead. So that is the reason I said mute the noises, you know. इस शहर में इतना शोर क्यों है? शहर में इतना शोर क्यों है? वो मुकेश का गाना ये शोर और हिंदुस्तान में हॉकिंग बाहर तो हम हॉकिंग ही नहीं करते और यहाँ कहते हैं दीदी आप हॉन्क क्यों नहीं करते? मैं हट जाऊंगी, मैं हॉन्क करता ही नहीं. I don't honk in India. We are used to honking, while we are not used to honking last 16-17 years driving in the global world. Some are beautiful tips which Pradnya gave when we are working in different countries, cultural differences. I have worked in Lithuania, Romania, Netherlands, England, Nigeria, Ethiopia, America, one side in Alabama, one side in North Carolina, Indonesia. I've worked in 20 countries. God has been great. And traveling to these countries and working with them as an HR director and employing the people and getting them aligned with the thought process of one dream and one team. I have also been part of the HR business process. Having said that, I would again like to wish this map. Map is our Manisha, Anindya, and Pradnya. And map is motivation, attitude, and passion. All the best for a great show they could produce here this evening. I can see Rotarian JP Malhotra Sahab, the president of Faridabad Industrial Association, still here after 1.5 hours. I can see Pradnya here. I can see Arvind Narendra Deshpande Sahab here. I can see Ravi here. I can see Sunil Raina Sahab here. I can see Surekha here. I can see Milani here. From Spain. I can see from Thailand, Papani there. So many people still watching this show. And this is continuously going Saturday to Saturday to Saturday, every Saturday. And there's another woman next Saturday, and which is Melania from Spain. She will be talking to another women in US and continuously. And then I will be getting Pooja Bedi here before, I think I am that time in New York when Pooja Bedi is coming on the show. So all this is possible only because we are able to connect to the world. And remember, PP, now we are not going to leave you.
Absolutely.
We are going to get you on this to work with Manisha and discuss the collaborative effort of
Yes.
Katha Unheard. I'm sorry, other day I could not understand Unheard and I immediately changed that. Katha Unheard and Women Power, hashtag Women Power together, so that we can take it forward to more and more people around the world.
True.
And I don't know.
Can I just say a few words, DKG?
Don't call me G, DK.
First of all, from the bottom of my heart, a heartfelt thank you to you, Manisha and Anandita, for having me here today. Really, I'm so grateful. My heart is so full today with so much of inspiration and love, I'm telling you. It is extremely, I mean, like Manisha was rightly mentioning, these are rare moments, and it's been such a wonderful day. First of all, DKG, again, sorry, I need to take some time to take out the G, but please give me some time. But honestly, from the deep of my heart, I know what passion really feels like. Thank you so much from the entire women community around the world. I thank you for starting this movement. Firstly, thank you so much, because like I was mentioning, more men come proactively towards this, like you, we will really see. So you have actually, what you have started is a change making around the globe. So thank you so much. And again, thank you for having me here. And third, I have to say this, which is why I said, can I say a few words? I was blown away by the way you summarized the entire show. I was blown away. I was blown away with the notes that you made, with every single aspect that I had spoken, those highlights points, so that I was absolutely blown away with the takeaways that you have done. Thank you so much, really. And you yourself, DKG, you're such an inspiring person. Your career, HR, and what you're doing for all of us is so inspiring. Thank you so much. And Manisha, Anandita, like I said, it is such a pleasure to meet Woman Power, like both of you.
Same here.
Manisha, what you mentioned about your,
Amresh, please, Amresh, just check Rotarian JP Malhotra Sahab is on the line. I think he wants to speak something. Amresh, upgrade him. Amresh?
Sir.
Mr. Malhotra, upgrade him as a panelist. Let him say some words. I think he's there. Mr. Malhotra, sir. Mr. Malhotra, check. Mr. JP Malhotra. Yes, please place his video on. Upgrade him. Upgrade him. Upgrade Mr. Malhotra. Mr. Malhotra, wait a while. We want to see you.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, wait a while. We want to see you. You should put your video on.
It's on, sir.
Oh, we can't see you, sir.
Can you see me now?
No, we cannot. Okay, anyhow, I think you can go ahead. At least we can hear you well. Ladies and
Am I audible
gentlemen,
now?
yeah, you are audible.
You're audible, JP, sir.
Yes.
Okay.
First of all, let me introduce you. Mr. Malhotra is the president of Faridabad Industrial Association. He does beautiful work in that beautiful part of outskirts of Delhi. And he has been part of our Women Power programs, New DNA of Leadership programs. I have had an opportunity of speaking as a keynote speaker at his association, and that was a program called COVID Ability, which I had started. I have a competency
Fantastic.
called COVID Ability. Over to you, Mr. Malhotra.
Thank you, DK sir. Thank you. I've been hearing to many women power in your program. But today was an exceptional story which men need to follow. What is that? Share your workload with women. Like they want our support, we should also take their help. Anything which we will do in our workplace or in office situation, we should take help from our spouses, which now we in Rotary, we call them as partners. We have stopped calling them spouses. We call them as our partners. Punekar, your story, the way you expressed and the way you are carrying forward the idea of women empowerment has really impressed me. And I propose to write something about you in one of my articles in the local newspapers, which will spread the message of equality that you have spread.
Thank you so much.
I'm deeply impressed. Thank you,
Thank
DK
you,
sir.
sir. Thank you
Thank
so much. Manisha, close the program, already late. Go, I will say, go, grow, glow, grace, gratitude, goodness, good work, good health, and goodwill.
Thank you, Malhotra ji.
much.
Thank you.
Thank
I'm
so
glad
much.
this
Thank you.
inspired.
Thank
It
you,
has
Pradnya.
been an honor, absolute honor, JP sir, having you also on the show. And what wonderful words, and the only message that I can see in you speaking is that men should be coming ahead for supporting women. I already see that the moment you said that we'll be having Pradnya published here in the local newspapers.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Means a lot to
That's-
me. Thank you.
Thank
Yeah,
you. Thank you.
That's
Now you can see my
such a
photograph.
motivation. I believe if such kind of initiatives are taken by other people who are connected with DK, it was such a motivation for women who join us and this moment, which is World Power, the global moment. I'm very close by, sir. You are in Faridabad. I am in Gurgaon. So I'll also try to catch
I'll
up.
get in touch with you. I will
Yes,
get in
yes.
touch with you.
Sure,
She
sure,
is
sir.
a brilliant education excellence leader. Invite her on the show. Malhotra ji, next time.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. I'll
Please
do that.
invite her also.
I'll do that.
Okay, sure, sir. Sure.
Thank
So
you.
looking forward to many such sessions and collaborations that the Global Talent has been organizing. We have Rotarians working their life and giving away for the social cause, for nation building, for global building. This is Manisha Sharma signing off with DK Bakshi, the honored women par. with Miss Pradnya Punekar. We have got such tremendous learning from a life journey, and with our famous Rotarian, Mr. J.P. Malhotra, catching us up from Faridabad and motivating us just as we ended the program. Thank you so much for watching and tuning
Thank you.
in,
Thank you.
and keep
Thank you.
watching us. Thank you so much. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.